This is a very traditional Chinese paper cutting. When we were little, we cut this all the time because we didn't have any toys really. To cut this, all you need is a piece of paper like this. This piece of A4 paper, an A4, and a pair of scissors. That's all you need. So what we need to do, A4 is rectangle paper. We don't really need rectangle. We need a square paper. So if we square, I mean, you would thought, okay, we're going to cut it like a square. But when you cut it, it's not going to be really nice cut. So at the moment, we don't have to think about it. To start with, we need to fold the paper. So when we fold the paper, we need to bring one of the corner, this corner, up to here, and this line needs to in line with this line. So what we do is we're going to pick this corner up and fold, remember this line in line with there, like that. So we have a very nice sharp edge and sharp corner, like that will make a really nice crease. So basically once we fold like that, and this triangle, when we open up, and we're going to make a square. We're going to make this square. So this is a part of the paper we need it, and we don't really need this part of the paper. So now we're going to have another fold, which is we're going to bring that side of the corner and come to here, match up. So by doing that, the easiest way is to put your finger here in the middle, same place as this little corner, put a finger there, and to bring that paper over like this, and then you come to match this place, this corner, very, very sharp, very, very accurate. Try to do that, and then we're going to make a crease of this side of it like that. Okay, make a crease, yeah, and that look like a house. That way it looks like a house, doesn't it? And then, or a house upside down. So what we do now is I need to have one more fold, which is like that, make it symmetrical. And I don't want to fold like that. If I fold like that, if I fold like this, I can't see the edge inside. So what I do is I flip the paper over, and then I'm going to fold like that, half, so we'll make it really nice and sharp, the edge like that, so I can see the edge on this side, of course on this side too. So basically, I told you before, we don't really need this side of the paper, so I'm not going to be bothered about this. And now what I do is I'm going to start cutting it, because I've been cut so many times. I don't really need draw it on it. But I would suggest, if the first time when you're doing cutting, maybe it's a good idea to do some drawing to cutting on it, so you know where you're going, what you're doing. So now I am going to start cutting this. I'm going to start cutting this. To start with, I'm going to cut the edge. Remember, don't cut anything on this square because we don't need it. We need to cut those paper, this triangle, and we're going to cut something on the triangle here, which is going to form the outside of the paper. You can cut in like what I do, or you can cut anything you want. So you can cut like castle or triangles or anything you wish to cut. and then the outside will look like what you designed with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut like what I did on the first paper. So this is what I did. That is what I did. So here. So when you cut the paper, the best thing to do is when you're cutting it, and you just move the paper when you're cutting, not move the scissors, because it's really hard to move the scissors. So if you move the paper, it's so much easier. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut something here and here and here. By doing that, I have to cut from outside to go into it. But remember, when you're doing paper cutting, you're always cutting up to somewhere near the edge, but don't cut through it. If you cut through, and then you will lose this part of your paper. Or if you cut through from here and here, then you lose a big part of your paper. So the best thing to do is you cut a little bit and go up to here, then you stop. And also, when you're doing the paper cutting, you cut one cut, and then you need to go to cut another cut, so you can make a tiny little bit. When you're cutting it like that, you can have a little bit of gap. So that's the beauty of the paper cutting. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut here. I'm going to cut in here, and after one cut, but then I need another cut to cut into it so I can see it, what I did. And later the light can come through that little gap. So this is one cut, and then I'm going to do another one like that. That's two cuts like this. So now, because I all got cut in this way, but now I go up there, I can cut going this way. So I can cut in like this to go up. Remember, a little gap to going up there. See that? Now, what's happened is I have created a really big space here. If you see that, big space, and when you open up, it doesn't look really nice because it's just a solid paper. It's not very nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to look. I am turning my paper rather than my scissors. So like that. Wow, that's dangerous. Oh, it's quite some. So I'm going to make here a little bit look nice. Okay. So that's a cut there, so I don't have so much edge on the side now. And now I'm going to concentrate on this bit, and I don't know what I'm going to do. But I think what I would do is I am going to cut maybe a swirl, go into it. Yes, I'm going to cut a swirl. Like that, but then again, it's just one cut, doesn't work, doesn't see. So I have to cut it again, and maybe I could cut from here. Just have a little bit of gap on the swirl. Like that. Like this. And then later will look really nice. And now I'm going to concentrate on this side, because this side has got loads of solid paper here and I need to do something with it. But what I'm going to do is I'll have some rectangles cut into there. Some rectangles. And one more rectangles. Yep. Like that. That's really clean cut. when you're cutting it, you need one clean cut, don't do like that. If you do like that, the paper is not really clean. So what I will do is, I'm not cutting far, look, edge there, and I'm going to cut one more time. Get in there, like that. So now, it's all clean cut, but I think I'm going to cut some like spikes. Really nice. Spikes look nice. Very easy to cut as well. Remember, when you cut spikes, you have to really make sure they are meet up, the cuts meet up, so you can take this spikes, you know, the unwanted triangles out like that, like this. You see, I have not met up there, and the triangle's not coming out. Okay, now so you know what I mean. So now I have got the spikes there, and then here's got a little bit ugly, really ugly, you know, thing there. So I'm going to cut something there. Now, the top's cut, so I'm going to do the bottom. And the bottom, what am I going to do? I'm going to cut some, careful, don't, when you cut into the, some of the spikes, you cut different, uneven, you know, cut like I did, I've got quite uneven. So if I'm not careful, I might cut into it, then I lose my paper. So careful, leave it alone for a bit far away from there. So what I'm going to do is cut from there. That's okay, not so bad. And in there, and maybe some more. There we go. More cut there, and I've got a solid edge on this side. What am I going to do? Oh, I'm too close there now. I've got to be careful. I've got to be really, really careful, so not to cut into the edge there. Like that. Then I've still got some edge on this side, so what I am going to do is, I might do a bit of triangle there. Cut a little triangle, and watch out. So this side, I start cut from there. I've got to be really careful. Rectangle going there. Yeah. And then I just need to cut tiny little diamond, not to cut through. Control the scissors. So now I think my cutting has finished. And now I'm going to open up to see what it looks like. Remember, every time when you cut one, it's going to be totally different because there's no pattern. Unless you draw exactly the same, then you cut it out. So this one is going to be different. I'm going to open this one. Have a look. What is going to look like? Take this paper away. What's going to look like? There we go. Like this. And open up. Look at that. Let's flatten up. That looks nice, doesn't it? And then what you need to do is to go to the window, put some blue tack and on this edge, and make this flat on the window, and the light will shine through it when you look out. It looks really beautiful, especially if you've got different colours, and put it on the window.